Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Callie. This is my channel. You can tell by the title of the video, which I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, that this is going to be a pretty heavy video, but this is my channel. It is super random, and if you have yet to subscribe, please do hit that subscribe button. You never know what you're going to find here, and you definitely don't want to miss it, because it could be for you. And I could need you. Either you could need to hear something I have to say, or I could need to hear something you have to say. And so could others who tune into the channel. So I have a really difficult situation going on right now. It's an extreme challenge in my life. And I'm really looking for outside perspective because it's something I don't really know the best way to handle it, because everything I've done has really kind of led to more of a challenge. So let me first back up for a minute and just say I have a friend. I have a friend that when I was getting sober, all right, for those of you who have been on my channel for a long time, you know that I had a 7-year battle with drug addiction, opiates and benzodiazepine, and it was a long 7 years of gaining back my sovereignty from these, my freedom, my liberty from these drugs, and it was a long, painful, challenging fight. It was a fight. I had to fight for my life. I had to fight for my body and my mind and my soul. I had to fight. And it took me about, for the first 3 years, I was full blown, I'm going to die this way. And then I got my dog Monty, the guardian. And it took me 4 years after realizing that I didn't want to die that way, because I was dying. I ended up in the hospital a lot. I was dying. It took me 4 years to finally get sober from that. And through that time, I went through my mind, body, spirit, soul, everything, every part of me I had to comb through and articulate my way through with absolutely no guide. All right, so I started with my heart. My heart was heavy. That's why I did drugs. I let it all out. All right. Then I started with my mind. All right. My mind is playing tricks on me. My mind is manipulating me. Right. It's not working with me. It is working against me. All right. Got the psychology down. And then it came the physicality. All right. I was about 2 years into trying to get sober when I realized that I could not do it on my own. I said, you know what? I could not bridge the physical gap for some reason. It was every time I tried to get sober, I would lose myself in the withdrawal, the pain, just all of that. I couldn't go through the physical pain of withdrawal. And so what I did was I sought somebody. And I looked and looked for days. I said, you know what? I need to find someone who can help me with this last piece of the puzzle, with this last bridge I need to get over. And I searched and searched, and I found this person on the internet. And I approached him, and I said, look, I know you can help me. I don't know why, but I knew something in me said he's the one who is going to fill in the piece of the puzzle that creates the picture that helps you bridge the gap. Right? So he spared no moments. He went right into what he does. He really is not afraid to sit with people in their dark times, be there for them. He does come in with a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. He's not a stupid individual. He's a very intelligent guy. And, he's the one who showed me different videos on YouTube about quantum mechanics and energy and consciousness that I had no clue of back then. I was just getting into understanding my spiritual aspects of self and of the world around me. And so this was all very eye-opening, interesting, and I was really depressed. This is back when I watched a video online of a puppy getting abandoned or the rhinos bleeding because someone cut off their horn, and I would be so emotionally distraught that I couldn't even function throughout the day. I would be crying all day useless because of what I had learned. And listen, I'm telling you guys all this because I want you guys to know the whole story so that you can give me your full perspective on it all. I don't want to just go into what's happening now without the backstory, all right? So I was very emotionally distraught all the time. I was feeling the pain of the world and I was drowning in it, literally, every day. And I met him, and, he gave me the time that the person I was with at the time wouldn't. The person I was with didn't want to even indulge my emotion, as I felt too much and thought about things that were not important, and I didn't know how to stay focused on the goal, which was accomplishing, success in financial terms. I wasn't looking for financial success, although I would appreciate it. I was looking for soul fulfillment. And so, he talked to me for basically 2 years. And of course, he did assist in helping me realize some things within myself, right? I learned about emotion through a dog psychology book, about how my emotions affect the people around me, especially my dogs, because I had just got a rescue. His name was Charlie, and he was biting people because I was too emotional. So through that, I learned that my energy was very powerful, and I had to watch how it came out of me. And so fast forward, I found Kratom. All right, I found Kratom, and I took it. 3 days later, I was completely off of opiates. I had been off of the benzos for a while, but I was completely off of opiates. I moved out of my ex's house within about a month of becoming sober, after realizing that my soul would not find fulfillment there. And throughout this, the relationship with my friend at the time got a little rocky. There was some things in our relationship that I didn't really appreciate, and it was one, the way he treated me. He was really aggressive towards me in the way that he would, talk to me, call me names like stupid, you're being stupid. And I get, like, that's how some people talk to other people. Like, I really get that. I would never call someone stupid unless I was really angry. Calling names doesn't come out unless I'm really angry. And I get that he's really angry, but nonetheless, I just didn't like some of the ways he would talk to me. And the one thing I didn't appreciate is how he made it seem like without him, I was going to fail or be left destitute or just have a really terrible life. And I felt like that was a form of manipulation. Like someone saying, you're never going to get any better than me. Or, someone saying like, I have this key that everyone wants, but the only way you're going to get it is if you fulfill my demands, which are demands that literally no one can fulfill. And this is something that happened with my ex. I will love you when you get sober, right? Okay, got sober. Still no love. I will love you when you do this and this. And these things, even though you accomplish them, you still don't get that reward. And he had the same system, all right? And not only did he have the same system, but he also played the game of, without me, you will fail. Without me, you will suffer. I didn't appreciate that. And I decided in this time, I needed to step back from the internet altogether. There's just too much information. I was having information overload. I need to take a real thing. I had just become homeless. I had to take a real look around me at my environment, what was going on around me, because so much chaos I was in my environment, I could not continue to escape through my phone anymore. I had to face my reality. And so a lot of time had passed, and he had a falling out with not only me, but several of the women in his life because of how he treated them. And fast forward. We're going to fast forward. It wasn't shortly after that he became very suicidal. Publicly, he called me numerous times saying that I owed him for all the time he spent with me. And when I tried to spend the time with him, we would end up getting into a fight. He would hang up on me. He would block me every single time. Because every time he would say something and I would say, I could see where there was something not right. And if I went to point that out so he could become aware of it, he would get angry at me, interrupt me, or get mad at me. He would basically tell me to shut the fuck up, stop being this or that. He would call me names. He just was really rude, really mean to me. And then he would block me. I never even ran away from that. I would put up with it because to me it was like, okay, if you need someone to vent on, fine. All right? But there's a certain level that people will take before you say, hey, that's going too far. I had to learn personal boundaries, and it took a lot of time. And now people come in my life to challenge those personal boundaries, all right? And of course, because I am someone who feels very deeply, I don't want anything to happen to him. I care about him. I love him very much. But there is a level of what do you allow in a relationship? Like, what kind of behaviors, what kind of treatment do you allow before you finally say, hey, no, And for him to message me and say, I'm going to kill myself, this is going to be your fault, this is on you type thing because I didn't do exactly what he wanted, which mind you, was give him hours of attention undivided. My child cries? No. All right, I want to eat a freaking piece of sugar cane? No. Nothing can divert my attention or else it ends up in him completely blowing up. I'm sorry. Sure, I get undivided attention. Like, I get it. You need 100% focus on someone, but that takes time. People try to meditate, and that is what they're doing, is learning how to focus their attention, and they can do it 5 minutes at a time before they learn how to fully master it. It takes time. And when someone is yelling at you, I'm even now someone who has a challenge with intense emotion, right? You come at me with real intense energy, it's very uncomfortable to me. My child screams out of his emotion, it's very uncomfortable to me energetically. I can manage my father, my mother, anybody. Anyone comes at me with very extreme high amplification of energy, I feel it and I tend to close up, right? It's not personal, all right? But with that said, I had finally, I think about him a lot. I wonder how he's doing, and then yesterday out of nowhere, he pops up and he's like, hey, I want you to join this team of superheroes. And I'm like, okay. Look, I'm not trying to save no one. I am not trying to save no one because I know that people are going through their own thing. Sure, we get by with a little help from our friends, but it's like, where do you draw the line? I'm so torn. Where do you draw the line? It's like, we're both out at sea. Neither of us have a ship, right? He's drowning. I'm drowning. We hold on together, we both drown. Does that make any sense? Like, how can he expect other people who are trying to swim or float or whatever to pull him out when they're in the water just as deep as he is, right? I'm not saying my experiences are this or worse or anything. I'm very grateful for my life, but I'm just saying, like, how can someone get upset with you for not being able to give something to them that you are not even been able to give to yourself? And priorities. Like, my priorities are clear. What is around me is my priority first. And I'm torn, you guys, because the last conversation we had, he's going to go kill himself again and basically makes it seem like it's all my fault. Like, he was doing so good until he reached out to me And now all of a sudden, because I stood up for myself and said, look, you can't treat me like that, you know? If I don't agree with what he says, I have to walk on eggshells. All of a sudden, I'm a bitch. And it's like, really, dude? Like, you don't have to treat me like that. And part of me is like, you know what? Like, all right, fine, I'll take the abuse. I'll take the abuse if that's what you need. But my partner sitting there is like, no, you won't. You won't take that abuse. Why do you have to? And I was like, you know what? Because that's just what he needs. And he, my partner, who's very logical but cares very deeply about people, but also does not take no crap from nobody. Like, you cannot, not even me. He don't take nothing from nobody. You cannot mess with him at all. He says to me, even if you took all his punches, all his abuse, it would not make any difference. You wouldn't be helping him. In fact, you would be hurting him more. So I'm torn. I don't know, you guys. I know this is a long video. It's obviously something I don't know what to do. I need some advice. I need some clarity. I need some perspective outside of my own, right? I got the perspective of the people in my house, and they're Guyanese. They're not from the United States, right? Their way of feeling is completely different than what I initially would feel and what I'm sure other people would feel, right? And it's like, hey, someone who's going to say that stuff, that's not okay for anyone to put that on another person. Me, I'm trying to be in his shoes, in his perspective, and I know he's going through a lot. I know he's had a hard, challenging life. I know this, and I care very deeply about him. I know how much time he did spend with me, but in the same sense, I can see how I was the one helping him back then by validating all of his ideas and beliefs. I was the one saying, yeah, I can see that. You know, we have all these crazy thoughts, and we just want someone in the external world to validate us. And when we're shouting and no one is listening, when someone comes along who gets it, that makes us feel good. So it was like a mutual thing. I needed someone to be there. He needed someone to be there. So it's not like, why do I owe him? It's like, that was mutual exchange. I don't know. It's a lot, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I need y'all on this one, and I appreciate you all, and thank you all so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Obviously, I'm experiencing a lot in my sphere, and I'm happy to have an outlet. I'm happy to have other people to look to help me with this. So thank you guys so much. Much love. I hope you all are taking care in these really crazy times, and I will see you guys next time.